tournament staff should have stepped in a lot earlier and kind of like reined him in. The longest running holdem tournament outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
Guinness tap at the table that the dealer pours in between hands would be cool.
So sick,
just, you know.
I will be going to the Elton John Oscars party.
I have a date with Sydney Sweeney, I think.
It's the Poker News Podcast.
All right, we are with our guest this week to talk about upcoming PokerStars EPT events, maybe other events as well. James Hartigan, welcome back to the Poker News Podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Great to be here. I've just suddenly realized it's my first trip to Vegas since November of last year. So it's been a while. I know in the grand scheme of things it's not, but when you're kind of based on the West Coast, to not be in Vegas every weekend kind of feels like a waste. So
yeah, agreed.
But it's good to be back. Good to be back.
And your first time with Mike, because of the last time was with Kaina when she was here, and then Ben wasn't with the podcast at the time. So
there we go. Hello.
What a new experience.
Very
nice to meet you, sir.
I love new experiences.
Yes.
Well, one of the reasons we're here is to talk, like I said, upcoming events. And a big one on the schedule is EPT Paris, a place that's, I actually never been to Paris. I've been to...
When you say you've never been to Paris, do you mean so you've never actually been to the city of Paris? Not just to a poker event in Paris?
Correct.
Wow, you're missing one of the world's greatest cities.
I've been all over the world for poker at and all over the country here, but I've never been to Paris. I've never been to New York City. I don't know.
You've never been to New York City?
Never been.
Absurd.
What? Yeah,
I know.
That's two of the world's greatest cities.
What are we doing
That should
here?
be on your bucket list, Chad.
I mean, now that PokerStars is going to the EPT Paris, and we got the show, I'm going to try to work some magic to get over there. Yeah,
I mean, not only is Paris a great city, it's obviously a great poker location, and it's weird in a way that it took as long as it did to have a major poker event there. I think in year one, it was originally John Duffy's aspiration that Paris would be the French stop on the EPT, but, logistics, regulations made it difficult. And then I want to say about 10 years ago, they had the World Series of Poker Europe in Paris, but it kind of wasn't. Yeah. It was kind of outside of Paris, right? It was at some venue that was a good 30-minute drive away. Whereas what's great about having the EPT at Le Palais de Congrès under the license of Club Barrier is that you are right. You're central. Yeah. You're in the city. So you have that ultimate mix of being able to play poker and see the sights and just experience everything that Paris has to offer. Because, like a lot of places, it gets a bad rap, but I love it. And it's definitely a city that everyone needs to go to at least once.
I like that now I have a place where I can slide into Poker Girls DMs and be like, yeah, we should take a trip to EPT Paris. That's what Chad needs to do, I think.
I got to be able to deliver and afford it then.
Yeah. Well, Poker News, we'll see. Maybe there's a PokerStars Poker News sponsorship we can figure out.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see. I'm looking at the festival dates, February 18th through March 1st.
Yep.
This is, let's see, they got the PokerStars Open main event, which is a 1,650 euro. They have the High Roller, 2,700 euros. A PokerStars Open Cup, which is more my speed, 825 euros.
Yeah, so generally speaking, if you go to a PokerStars Open, it's normally a 1K with the cup being closer to 300, 500. At the EPT stops, especially where capacity is an issue, they raise the buy-in just to ensure that, just keep the field manageable.
Right.
I would prefer it if it was consistent. I prefer it if you knew an open was always 1K, but I get why we have to do it. But yeah, the way we always look at it, and again, everything's relative. We call the first week the cheat week, right? That's the kind of the open week. And then you get into EPT week where you've got your 5K EPT main event, your 100K super high roller and your 10K high roller. And that's kind of when you're it's very much the kind of more of the pro week, if you like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always been really balanced, though. That's my favorite thing about PokerStars events is that, it is a long festival and they do a great job of balancing out. You go for the cheap week, but then the high rollers have something to do too.
Sure.
I feel like there's so many stops where it's either you go as a high roller or you go as a low roller. And this is a great balance of both because everyone meets in the middle for the main kind of, or whether it's a 5K, 1650, whatever. But then the high rollers have something, the low rollers have something, us cheap boys have something.
Yeah, and look, I'm no expert on this. I'm sure it's a logistical nightmare, and it's taken a while to get to a point where you have, and it can never be a cookie cutter approach, right? You can't say, right, this is the EPT schedule and it's going to work in X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You have to tailor it for whichever destination you go to. But generally speaking, there is a formula that works. And again, around the weekends, understanding that you're going to have people who just come in for a long weekend. Sure. And again, you're going to have people the local crowd, for example, and have tournaments in the 300, 500 euro buy-in range that's going to appeal just to the kind of local grinders.
Yeah. I miss my earliest memory. One of my earliest memories of poker is watching like Aviation Club, right? That was, oh my God.
Thing.
Maybe it was a devil. We were talking about Devilfish the other day. Maybe he won one of those or something. But like, I just think of these Paris stops as like, you know, there's a man in a suit at the front door letting you in.
It was the very first 2 years of the WPT where I think Tony G made the final table
that's
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And that's where he really came to fame. And I think
Get on your bike.
It was the second year where he was so inebriated that like people were saying the tournament staff should have stepped in a lot earlier and kind of like reined him in because it was getting really nasty. It was that classic, to quote Morrissey, that joke isn't funny anymore. It's like it had reached the point where like someone needed to say something. But yeah, the Aviation Club was the only show in town for so many years. And, you know, I think it's fair to say that there was maybe a legal exploit in how that club was able to operate.
Sure.
Which is why it's not there anymore.
We're all about exploits.
So again, that was something that would have kept the EPT away.
Of course.
But great that we're now there. And of course, we talk about regulation, and there was some delay in the relicensing of poker clubs last year, which is why EPT Paris didn't take place in February 2025. So we've had a year off. But I love that because, like, it's that classic, and we discovered this, I guess, during the pandemic, you know.
The FOMO.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now it's like, I'm ready for Paris to come back. So this will only be the third EPT Paris because we didn't have it on the schedule last year. So, yeah, thrilled to be going back. Plus, I know you were outlining some of the kind of open events. There's also the Spin and Go Championship Live taking place.
You seem enthusiastic about that.
So it's weird, right? So this is the
Nick Walsh is excited, right?
Absolutely. So this is the third iteration of the Spin and Go Championship Live. So the first one was in Prague, and this was at the end of 2024. And this was, I guess, a pilot is probably a little bit harsh because it was a fully fledged event, but it kind of happened.
It was a beta.
And it was kind of, let's try it out. But then the one we did in Barcelona, that was like, right, now this is going to be a full-on production and it's going to be a live stream as well. And the difficulty was it was taking place at the same time as the EPT main event.
Oh, that's a problem.
It is, because people think, oh, this is great because you're giving audiences a choice of viewing. That's not good. Like the poker live stream audience is only so big, and you're just cannibalizing that audience.
Of course.
And of course, you're putting something up against the EPT, right? Which is an established brand. It's something that's been streaming since 2007, has been televised since 2004. So, of course, you're kind of like, it's going to play second fiddle to that.
Yeah.
So now we get to the third iteration in Paris, and it precedes the EPT main event.
Okay.
So now you're going to basically get a 7-day live stream. 2 days is going to be Spin and Go Championship Live, and then 5 days is going to be the EPT main event.
Yeah, and hopefully someone spins it up and plays the EPT off it, you know?
Well, how does the Spin and Go Live, how does it work exactly?
I mean, it's a bunch of qualifiers and invited guests. So it's limited, it's capped to 81 players. Because you basically have round 1, round 2, round 3, and then the final. So obviously being three-handed, it has to be divisible by 3.
So it's exactly like the Spin and Go's online?
Absolutely. So you're going 81, 27, 9, 3.
But there's no spin before it, or there is.
So the spin, yes, there are spins involved. How it operates is slightly different to the online Spin and Go. But whilst there is a clear decided advertised prize pool, how that prize pool is going to be divided is unknown at this stage because you don't know what people are going to spin.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And, if you go back and watch what we did in Barcelona, you'll see the digital spinner, you'll see how it operated, and the fact that I was drafted at the 11th hour as the kind of on-set kind of host.
Sure, yeah.
And, I grew up during the 1980s watching game shows, and I think there's always been a bit of a frustrated game show host inside of me.
Okay,
and so that was able to come out a little bit, and I think we're going to try and dial it up a notch even further in Paris. We've been having conversations in the last 48 hours about wardrobe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. There is a jacket that is basically being ordered where I'm a bit like, I'm not sure I can pull that off, but I guess if I lean into it and really go for it and up the catchphrases and really bring the showbiz, maybe, just maybe, this is, because it's got to be different, right? This is not an EPT. This is not, this is something a bit different.
Sure,
so
yeah.
The razzmatazz is very much part of it.
No, I like that. I think that's actually pretty cool. And I like that they're doing it separate from the main, because I think doing it the main is not a good idea.
Completely.
Yeah.
Oh, but here is the biggest challenge. Because even if it's not up against the main, we talked about the fact there's a lot of tournaments being played inside Le Palais de Congrès. So as a game show host, you are performing to a hyped up crowd, right? Who are fully on board with what you're doing. When you are on set hosting the Spin and Go Live, which is relevant to the 81 people playing this thing, everyone else in that room is like playing their 1K or playing
they want you to shut up. Yeah.
Oh, they have no interest in what you are doing or saying. So your audience per se is kind of slightly hostile.
Oh yeah. No, if I was playing a table and you were doing that, I'd be like, what is he doing over there?
I know. I know.
So it's not on you, obviously.
Yeah. So the inhibitions of an awkward Englishman have to be kind of hopefully set aside to a certain degree.
Sure.
I think luckily though, there's a lot of, when it comes to poker, anytime there's drawing for money, people do get excited. I feel like at the World Series during the mystery bounties, or like even in the Bahamas where they had the silly wheel for one of those tournaments, like people are like, oh, the fucking wheel's spinning. I gotta pause this 3-bet hand. I gotta watch the wheel spin.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's good that I think the kinks are still being ironed out. This is only the third time they've done it. And with each iteration, there's adjustments being made to the format. How do you bring something that was very much designed for the online space and bring it into the live arena?
Yeah.
But the fact that we are able to do something that's a very different type of tournament, a very different type of live stream production, but also is prestigious. It's, people qualifying online, some of the best spin and go players in the world competing for a title and a trophy that means something. Yeah. And to give people who play this format, which maybe doesn't get as much love as it should from some sections of the poker community, and say that we have a championship for people who specialize in this shorthanded format.
Yeah.
I like that as well, right? It's not just cash. It's not just MTTs. Also, now we have Spin and Go as a live proposition, as a live championship, as something that people can compete.
And it's the same format with the short stacks and everything live as well.
Short stack, fast blinds, three-handed. To take the variance out of it slightly, you play to a certain number of games. So I think, for example, in the first round of the competition, it's the first to win 3 games who goes through. So you're not one and done.
Okay.
And as it goes up, I think the number of games you have to win increases. So again, it's
that's actually interesting, because then you get in situations where one guy's 1-2 and the other guy's 1-0, and they're like kind of have to team up against him in a way, kind of. So
I mean, it definitely creates dynamics for sure. But again, it's just to ensure that it's fast format, it's high gamble, but also you're just trying to put a little bit of skill into it to ensure that, again, the title and the trophy means something. You can say someone is a legitimate champion of that format.
Yeah, good for PokerStars for doing stuff like that. I think it's good for the game.
I hope so. And I think the real big test will be whether it does get embraced by the wider poker world, right? Because, and from what I understand, the qualification is incredibly popular. A lot of people are playing in the leagues to try and win seats, to try and earn their spot in this. What I want to see is that, and it was very difficult in Barcelona with it being up against the EPT main, to ensure that people are watching it. And that is kind of creating, making sure that people are watching this and appreciating it and enjoying it, and then inspired to basically try and compete themselves.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I not to hijack our next discussion of kind of the state of things too, but like, in the attempt to how do we bring in people who aren't just here for like the serious 5K poker viewership, like this is a great thing where it's like, it is kind of a game show aspect where like, obviously you need to have some knowledge of poker, but someone could watch that isn't there for the, so much of poker broadcasts these days are either serious tournaments where the analysts are going deep into strategy, or it's the friggin' hustler cash games where I don't even know if anyone knows the rules of poker. They're just like, I have 100K, sure, what the hell? And so I think there's like a happy medium there where like you have a little poker knowledge, but you want more of like a TV game show experience. So it just...
Well, I hope it works.
Exactly. Yeah.
Either way, I will be wearing an interesting jacket. Exactly.
Yes. No, that's the most important thing.
That is by far the most important.
Come for the jacket, stay for the poker.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that too.
After EPT Paris over on this side of the pond, we are going to have the PokerStars Open Philadelphia, second year that will be taking place. It's at the Live Casino and Hotel in Philadelphia, 7 trophy events. This one, I might end up getting over there to work. In Pennsylvania, you have to have a license.
Really?
And there's pretty strict on the gaming, and I actually have one. So I went through a lot of hoops to get that. So
I appreciate that at this moment in time, I'm going to sound like a huge douche. With that caveat, I might not be able to go because I will be going to the Elton John Oscars party. Unfortunately, they do collide. But maybe I can try and combine both.
I have a date with Sydney Sweeney, I think.
I hope you wear this costume you just described from EPT Paris to the Elton John.
That's
That's not a bad shout, Chad. I think the jacket will may get repurposed. I mean, it follows the same kind of schedule and format as a European Open festival, but I think it's worth flagging that the US events do not count towards the PokerStars Live League, which is now in its second year.
Okay.
So I'm glad it's come back for a second year, and I think that tells you that the first year worked really, really well.
Yeah.
The idea to say that if you're playing any Stars event, whether it's an Open, whether it's an EPT throughout the year, you are earning points and understanding. And again, this is something that Stars learned from the online series, like Scoot, where you have the high, medium, and low buy-ins. You have 3 different tiers, right? You have a leaderboard for the low buy-ins, a leaderboard for the medium, and a leaderboard for the high.
Which we're always talking about. Every
more leaderboards, the better.
And it was great to see as we got into the final kind of like few events of 2025, the people who knew they were in contention, right? Because there were effectively 2 competitions going on. The top 3 in each leaderboard are going to win cash prizes. So if you finish 1, 2, 3 in the low, money. 1, 2, 3 in the medium, money. But the top 10 in each leaderboard, so 30 players overall, were going to go through to the second competition, which was the Team Pro contract.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Which obviously I know because I hear murmurings that the panel has been adjudicating. They've had their submissions. They've conducted their kind of casting process, interview process. And I hear that a decision or an announcement is imminent. Ooh. I would say there's a very good chance we'll know during EPT Paris. Worst case scenario, it'll be at the Irish Open, which I know we're going to come on to in a moment. We'll learn who has won that.
Nice.
This year, it's going to be slightly different. You still get the prizes for the top 3 in each leaderboard, but now the top 30, the top 10 in each leaderboard are going to go into a 100K free roll at the end of the year.
Wow, that's pretty sick.
So you still have effectively the 2 competitions, the top 3 in each leaderboard, and then the 30 players. And it's great to see that it does inspire people to go to more events, play more tournaments, and even putting the money to one side. Poker players just love to win shit. They love to be the best, right?
You.
100%.
It's the achievement aspect as well.
Yeah, our boy TJ Reed, who works for Poker.org before he had his $3 million score in the Bahamas. I know that he basically changed his job around, did all this stuff because I think he cashed deep in the Irish Open, did really well. And he was like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to go and travel to every single PokerStars stop for the rest of the year, which no one thought he would do or kind of was planning to do, and going for that.
He was super pissed off because he made the final table of the 1K Open at the NAPT, which did not count.
Right.
Of course, it's European events only.
He probably would have gotten it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He thought it counted though, didn't he?
He was hoping it would. I had to explain to him, no, it doesn't. I mean, come on. Woe is you, TJ. But crucially, it was, you're right. He changed his travel plan. He went to Manchester, of all places. And then, of course, realized as he gets towards the end, do you know what? I think I'm out of contention. I'm not going to make it. So instead of going to Prague and Cannes, I'll go to the Bahamas instead.
Good for him.
I think it's fair to say that decision worked out for him.
I would say so. Yeah, I remember after that, we were all kind of celebrating with him. And I leaned in, and this was one of those dude, I'm so proud of you, but also fuck you moments.
Sure.
Congratulations.
He had a pretty good year, I think it's fair to say.
I would say so. Yeah. He's got a cool story too, anyway.
You mentioned the Irish Poker Open, which we'll talk about because I've been in the poker world a good amount of time now. The Irish Poker Open is on the top of my bucket list of venues I've never been to. This is the longest running no limit hold'em tournament in Europe, the second longest in poker behind the World Series of Poker. This will be the 46th edition of the Irish Poker Open.
It's the longest running hold'em tournament outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Insane. And is it as special as I think it is?
It is. So first of all, we now have Chad needs to go to Paris. Chad needs to go to New York. Chad needs to go. So basically, we're constructing Chad's must-do
I like
list.
It's never Mike and Ben need to go to. Mike and Ben need to. It's always Chad gets to go here. Chad gets
It's not he gets to go, it's that he needs to go.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because I always worry that you start putting stuff on a pedestal and say, you must experience this, you must go to this. How can it possibly live up to that myth? But it will.
Yeah.
The Irish Open is an experience. And I think, like, you look at what's going on there, you look at the mix of players, you look at the atmosphere, the stuff that's happening both in the tournament room and in the players' lounge, which is known as the Crack Den, spelt C-R-A-I-C.
It's a good crack. You're having a good crack.
Exactly.
You know?
Thank you. Thank you. And you think, like, oh, wow, if only every poker event could be like this, or maybe we can take this formula and try to. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's just something about that crowd. It's something about that time of year. And it's something about what JP and Paul have done with that brand, with that festival. And just, it's a great atmosphere. And the fact that people spend as much time taking part in the away from table activities as they do playing poker. And I've never seen people, serious players, play hungover / drunk as often as they do at the Irish Open.
I've heard that the dealers can drink too.
I don't know about that.
Oh. Well, some dealers like, they got Stella in the break room. This is sick.
I mean, not at the table.
Okay. I was hoping. I mean, it'd be great if there's like Guinness taps at the table. You know, the dealer also has to be able to do.
They can't drink anymore, Ben, because you.
Ben ruined it for everybody.
Exactly.
Spoiler alert! There are it takes place at the RDS, the Royal Dublin Society, in this huge convention space where, coincidentally, the Fox game show Name That Tune is also filmed. That's just a random hashtag fun fact.
Great fact.
But in this main kind of space, you've got bars all around the table. So you can easily have access to a drink at any time.
I'm just saying a Guinness tap at the table that the dealer pours in between hands would be cool.
So sick,
just, that's just my idea.
You think of all of the innovations that in recent years to speed up the game, the big blind ante, the shot clock, and then Ben comes along and goes, can you please pour the slowest drink there is that you can possibly pour in between hands?
He gets it. That's good. We're on the same page.
That's exactly what he wants.
I get what you're proposing, and I'm shouting down your idea for obvious reasons.
Okay. Well, maybe, all right, just bottles of Guinness or cans.
No. Guinness should not be consumed
he gets
from bottle
that
or
too.
can.
All right. No.
I think
can't have it all, I guess.
Beggars can't be choosers,
And again, it's one of those things which has become a bit of a cliche, but it is so true.
That Irish people are drunks?
Tastes different in Dublin.
Yeah.
It 100% tastes different in Dublin and better. So it's one of those drinks a lot of people will only drink when they're in Ireland.
Interesting stuff, and hopefully we'll be getting to experience that.
Trying to make something happen.
See, most of this podcast is we talk about events and we're like, if only Jordan would send us there.
That sounds really cool, man. Good for the people that get to go to that.
So they had as well as the various poker tournaments last year, they had this competition, this team competition, which involved had a karaoke night. It had table games, and it also had a lip-sync battle.
Oh, okay.
And I got this. This is amazing. So Caitlin Comeskey was part of Marley Sprague's team, and Caitlin was going to do the lip-sync battle as Katy Perry doing Teenage Dream. And she asked if Joe and I would be left shark and right shark from the infamous Super Bowl performance, right? I'm like, sure, we're in. I was up for it. Ironically, the extrovert in the partnership wasn't so sure.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, I don't know about this. And he missed the rehearsal. And to be fair, he does have an out here, which is the live stream overran. Someone had to anchor the live stream.
Yeah.
So there was no right shark. There was only the left shark.
Yeah.
So I was the solo shark in an inflatable shark costume. Hopefully, lifting Caitlin's excellent performance as Katy Perry. We did not even podium, and we were fucking livid.
Oh my God.
I've never been so angry in my life that we did not even podium in that competition.
I mean, the knowledge of left shark and, getting the moves right. How do you...
Who was the winner of the competition?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
It was, so Felix Schneiders and the Germans did the Backstreet Boys. I mean, to be fair, they ripped their shirts open. So kind of deserved. Fair.
Were they fit?
No.
But, well, then, they deserved it for sure.
Yeah,
if they were fit, fuck them.
Right.
Exactly. But no, that's just to give you a flavor of what you can expect at the Irish Open, as well as what I imagine will be another record-breaking main event They keep the buy-in, 1,150 euros every year. And it just, let's put it this way. I think the guarantee this year is 2.5 million euros.
Smashed.
It's so conservative.
Yeah.
It will get smashed.
Yeah.
And because it's perfect, yes, you can play one of the earlier flights, but the final 2 flights, 1C and the turbo flight 1D, are on like Easter Friday, Good Friday.
Oh, okay.
So you can play that tournament over the Easter weekend, right? From Friday through Monday without having to take any time off work. So it's perfect.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Over those 4 days. It works so well.
Look, God wants you to play the Irish Open. He doesn't want you at church.
The 2026 Irish Poker Open, sponsored by PokerStars and Paddy Power Poker, runs March 26th through April 6th. I will link to this event and all the others that we've talked about in the show notes. You can go to PokerStarsLive.com, go to PokerNews.com. I think Poker News is going to be at most, if not all, of these events that we've talked about as well. Hopefully, we can get to some as well. I'm gonna push for that. But
I'm going to help you, Chad.
That.
It's a great place to do a podcast.
Oh,
be a great place to do a podcast. Again, because of the environment, because of the atmosphere. There's some great spaces where you can overlook the tournament room. There's the aforementioned crack den. Yeah, I think it'll be
I think it's pretty solid.
You
We can
had me
drink
at
Guinness
crack.
and podcast
love it.
instead of the bong rips in my car and then podcast. It's normal, you know?
yeah, they probably look down upon that in Ireland.
Sure.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Well, that is going to do it for this special episode of the Poker News Podcast. Thank you, James Hartigan, for coming back into studio to tell us about these live events. And hopefully we'll see you over in Ireland or maybe Paris.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, we've got to get you to Paris at some point, even if not for the EPT.
True. Very true. All right, do us a favor, like, subscribe, give us that 5-star review. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. And until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.